Betrayed by his employer and separated from his daughter Ellie, it looks like the only way the merc with the mouth is gonna get out of this one is with a little help from Miles Morales' Spider-Man. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop to the pages of Deadpool issue number 12, the third part of the Pools of Blood crossover storyline, and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then this issue actually opens up with something of a small flashback to not long after Agent GAO was kicked out of the police force by Mayor Luke Cage. It was at her absolute lowest she ended up meeting a mysterious old man. Again, remember when this crossover began, she mentioned a mysterious benefactor who was helping arm her? As it turns out, this mysterious old dude isn't military, he isn't underworld, he's something completely different. He is actually of the gods. As Old Man River here explains, he actually quite respects Agent GAO in her burning hatred of Spider-Man. He wants to try and help her in her quest against him. But specifically, this guy and the godly forces that he represents want to make war on Spider-Man's own godly benefactors. But we'll circle back to that by the end, I promise. Now, from there we switch on over to the present, where at the end of the last issue, Deadpool ended up getting ambushed by Midas and Output, Agent GAO's hired flunkies. It would seem that the plan was always to double-cross Deadpool regardless of whether or not he was successful in his mission to kill Spider-Man, so I mean, I guess it's good that he actually failed. By attacking poor Shift instead, normally Deadpool would have no problem taking out the hired help, but his healing factor is limited, and he's still recovering from his last run with Spider-Man. And hey, speaking of Spider-Man, where is he right now? Well, Miles is getting himself positively mauled by Deadpool's daughter Princess back at HQ, and I mean, really, can you blame Miles for getting a little aggro on Princess? He hasn't exactly had the best history when it comes to symbiotes. A fact of which I very much appreciate that Cody Ziegler keeps in mind when writing this story. In the end, Ellie only manages to stop the fight by invoking probably the worst thing you could say in this situation by calling Princess a bad dog. Of course, Ellie doesn't really mean what she said to her sister right now, she just knows that it's the only thing that would make her stop. Miles' reaction is absolutely priceless in this situation too. What do you mean the symbiote dog is your sister? Oh, well, you know, Deadpool is her father and Deadpool is my father, which makes us sisters, duh. Pretty simple, right? Only for Miles to eventually have to acquiesce, yeah, I guess my own clone. Shift is my brother, so I don't exactly have a leg to stand on when it comes to judging other people's familial units. Now that the good guys aren't fighting anymore, the kids gotta make their way back to Wade so that they can finally deal with this situation once and for all, a fact of which that will not be easy because Miles' Venom Sword totally wrecked Ellie's Deadpool teleporter phone. Thankfully, in this situation, Miles is able to make use of the amazing nanomachines inside his new vibranium armor. Yes, apparently this suit really can do anything, though Miles is also sure to note that it's the suit that's doing it and not him. It's the other Spider-Man who's actually good with gadgets. It's a good thing, too, the kids are able to troubleshoot this problem as quickly as they do, because if not, there was probably a good chance that Deadpool might very well have met his end. Luckily, Wade ends up finding some very unexpected help in the form of Schiff, who still remains true to the idea that he doesn't like Wade very much, what with the whole shooting him thing. But hey, you know what? Hero's got a hero, and in this situation, Deadpool really is the lesser of two evils. It's after that the kids end up making their very heroic return to the battle. Though the fight is still very far from over, Midas, of course, has the ability to alter mass, meaning her tonfas can hit like absolute freight trains. Then you have Output, who, despite everyone calling him a generic gun guy all crossover long, he is actually pretty talented when it comes to redirecting energy. In fact, he is able to absorb and redirect Miles' own Venom Blast right back at him, something few villains can say they've ever done. When the going gets tough, though, Deadpool, his daughter, and Spider-Man decide that the best course of action in this situation is if they actually end up switching dance partners. Ellie takes out Midas by giving her a good old-fashioned Shang-Chi flavored kick to the midsection, while Deadpool very literally disarms Output, making it so he can't redirect energy like he did before. After that, it's just as simple for Miles and Ellie to knock him out the old-fashioned way. And yeah, with the Goon Squad dealt with, it looks like the day is saved. Deadpool and Ellie aren't going to be getting paid, which is a shame, but they can still raid GAO's armory for any weapons they might need to take on Death Grip. Hell, Midas and Output probably have bounties on their heads too that our anti-heroes can turn in for cash, though Miles is sure that Wade only turns them in alive. It's right around here though, just when it seems like everything is winding down, down that Anansi, Spider-Man's brand new spider god friend, chimes in by saying that everything around here has started to get really fucky feeling, for the lack of a better word, and also, hey, why wasn't Agent Gao with her goons? Well, one massive explosion later, and the answer to that question ends up becoming quite apparent. Midas and Output were only meant to soften up the hero so Agent Gao could swoop on in and finally enact her revenge once and for all. Oh, but she's not doing it as Agent Gao, though. She is doing it as the newly christened Warcry, herald of the Greek god of war Aries, who, you guessed it, just so happens to be ancient enemies with the spider god Anansi. And so that was Deadpool issue number 12, everybody, and I gotta say, this Pools of Blood storyline really kicked in the turbos right here at the very end. I truly appreciate what Ziegler has managed to do with Gao as a villain ever since her creation. In fact, I dare say she's probably one of the newest Spider-Man foes that's actually worth a damn. As well as being a villain who is uniquely Miles. Now we have a new godly spin put on the character because of Miles' brand new affiliation with Anansi. Beyond that, this issue has a lot of good jokes, a lot of good action, a lot of fun interplay between characters. It's basically everything you would want to see from a crossover like this one. Overall, I would give it a very positive 8 out of 10, and I can't wait to see how this whole thing shakes out in the end. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.